Once you've tweaked a shot's colours and tones to get rid of the horrible original unprocessed raw that we have here and get a much healthier tonal range with much more vibrant colours, you're then almost ready to go into Photoshop's main editor to use the unique tools that are there. Now you could crop the shot in the main editor as well, but it's worth cropping here because if you choose the crop tool and then choose a size like 5 by 7 inches, then it may have to blow the shot up a little bit, make it larger, and that is worth doing in RAW because there's much more information to deal with and therefore you get a much better quality result. If you did that once you're in Photoshop's main editor, then you may end up with more artifacts, like compression artifacts, for example, that make the shot look pretty horrible. So it's always worth cropping if you know the size of the shot that you want when you're actually in the Adobe Camera Raw editor. And it's worth cropping this shot because the butterfly is slightly weak in the image. It's dominated by a lot of space. That's fine if you're going to use a design for a book cover or a poster, but if you just want a nicely composed shot, then you may have wanted to get closer to the butterfly on location, but you could have scared him away. So let's crop using the crop tool. If we click and drag, we can keep our 5 by 7 shot. I'm just going to go to portrait, so if I drag down the way, I get a portrait orientated version. If I go up to here, you get a landscape version. So of course we want portrait, and you can then click and drag to get the cropping exactly where you want it. Let's have the butterfly to the left slightly for a nice bit of balance. It leads the eye into the image. Let's take that down to about there, and then you can then just drag and reposition until you're happy with the composition. Like so. Something like that should do the trick. A little bit of space above the butterfly at the top, and then we're ready to open up the image in Photoshop's main editor. Because normally when you crop something you get this greyed background to say this is the area that's going to disappear, but you can't actually hit return and make the photograph become cropped in the raw editor because this is just creating instructions that relate to all the edits you want to do. You can't actually change the raw file itself. So you have to click Open Image to open up the image in Photoshop's main editor, and then it will become cropped. If you just went Done, it would save all the changes that you've described and attach them to the raw file, but the raw file would still have all this extra information available to you if you wanted to change your ideas about cropping, for example. But let's open up the image in the main editor like so, and there we have the cropped and tonally adjusted and color enhanced and color corrected version. So we still have our original raw file which is on the computer, it's untouched, and here's a different version here which will save as a JPEG or a TIFF. So you can relax knowing that your raw file is still there if you want to go back and start editing from scratch or change something like the cropping or the color, and we can play around with this new copy of the image as much as we like because we can relax knowing that the raw file will always be there for us if we need it.